know how many times I have to remind people that white people are not the morality standard, socioculturally, sociopolitically, geopolitically, historically, on the basis of humanity, because white history, imperialism, colonialism, and the delusion of white supremacy are the most violent, unethical, and illegitimate systems of oppression that have never been reprimanded, and white people have never paid reparations for the harm that they have done to black and brown people across the globe.
And to tack on to this, particularly as it pertains to the white left, is kind of the Chris Cuomo effect, where Chris Cuomo used to tout himself or cosplay himself as more of a liberal. And once he was held to account for his own behavior, and he had a mirror put up in his face, now all of a sudden he finds himself in alignment with the right and the white supremacists. And he is the type who would use the fact that we dare to try to hold him accountable for himself and his own actions as reason and justification for why he did what he did. They can't stand having these conversations. They cannot stand when we clock their bullshit. They will hyperventilate. What do you mean? I can't criticize black people. I voted for a black woman. I raised money for a black woman. They will use that as a way for them to say, see, this is why I had to vote for a white supremacist. Remember that a good majority of the people who voted for Bernie Sanders voted for Donald Trump. They voted for a white supremacist. They voted for an authoritarian fascist. And part of the reason why they did that was because they were uncomfortable having to deal with the reality that we were putting in front of their faces. They cannot stand having that mirror being put in their faces and having to look at themselves for the truth of who they are. They cannot deal with looking at themselves for the truth of who they are, deal with looking at the history of this country for the truth of what it is. And because they can't handle that, they're looking at you. How dare you try to tell me the truth about who I am? How dare you hold a mirror up to me to try to make me accountable for my own hypocrisy? And because you, as the minority in this equation, dare to try to hold them, the white person, accountable for themselves, for their history, for their deception, for their lies, for their hypocrisy, because you dared to do that, the white leftists, who were supposedly on your side, decided to vote for the fascist. And they voted for the fascists because they want to punish you. That is what this whole thing is about. They want to use their votes to punish you, to try to get you under heel and to get you under control. That's why they're doing what they're doing. They're not doing it because of any valid reason, because they actually have morality and ethics. They're not doing it because of that. They're doing it because you keep showing them the truth of who they are. They can't stand that shit. They much prefer the lie. It makes them feel better about themselves. Everything about how they move, about their narrative building, these purity tests, all of it is about trying to get you, as a black person in particular, under their control, which is why I say I cannot be a party to their game anymore, which is why I say I can't vote for another white man anymore. I'm not going to be a victim of their control anymore. Even I understand the whole concept of voting for least harm as a black person, but I'm starting to realize that they use that as a mechanism of control. They literally set things up in such a way so that we have to continuously do that, so that they have a mechanism by which to fucking control us. It is fucking sick, disgusting, and insidious. These people are not interested in equity. The socialists, the communists, whatever the fuck they want to call themselves, they're not interested in equity. They're white. They benefit from a white supremacist system. The only thing they're interested in is being the ones in control of the system. And they want you, as a good black, brown person, to sit up there, get your little pats on the head and be like, thank you for saving us. That's what they want. It's a sickness they have. It's a mechanism of control. That's how they use it. They're not using their power to actually have parity in any way, shape, or form. This is not about economic parity. This is about their ability to control you again. And I'm not saying that in the same vein of get off the Democrat plantation and all that dumbass shit. No, I'm realizing the reality is they're just like their MAGA counterparts. They cannot stand the truth. And I am just at a point in my life where I cannot continue to be a part of their game anymore. We're going to have to force them to have to make that decision every single time. I can't continue giving them a white man as a way for them to kind of like have an out of least harm. They have to be forced to make that decision every single time until they finally come to the conclusion, oh shit, I'm the problem. I'm the one who keeps voting for this. I'm the one who keeps resisting change. I'm the one who keeps resisting this call for economic parity. I'm the one who keeps resisting this call for equity. I'm the one who keeps doing this shit. But as long as they have their white man, the white liberal that they can hide behind to absolve themselves of their responsibility in this system, they're not going to change.